So guys, welcome again to the Driven Not Given podcast, and today we're going to talk about the 4 types of knowledge. Okay, so I come from the industry of direct sales and network marketing, real estate, just sales in general. But a big part of what I do and what I've done really all of my adult life, all of my career is building sales organizations, right? Currently I have about a 1,500 to 1,600 solar sales organization, and we close a whole lot of solar deals. And I built some very big teams in my life. Biggest team, 120,000 people around the world. So here's the deal. In building a business and building a sales organization, there's different levels that I'm not going to get into, but there is 4 types of knowledge, and I very often do this training, and it's important for people to understand, right? So as I go through this, it's going to make a lot more sense to you, but here's the way it works. The first type of knowledge, obviously you need different experiences, different knowledge, right, to be successful. And as you continue to grow, as I say, every level has a new devil, right? There's different levels of knowledge that you need to acquire. So the first type of knowledge that you acquire is learn knowledge. So let's say, for example, you are in a classroom setting or you're watching a video like this. They're teaching you the script. They're teaching you how to overcome objections. You're writing it down. You got the aha moments. Oh, got it. That makes sense. That is called learn knowledge. That is the entry level knowledge. Now, if you teach me a script, let's say, for example, I teach you a script on how to talk to a homeowner about solar. That's the industry that I'm in. And I say, here's what you say. Here's how you pique their interest. And here's some common objections or questions that they may have, and here's how you answer them. You're writing them down. Well, that is a first entry level type of knowledge. The next level is activity knowledge. You got to go out there and actually put this information that you learn, the learn knowledge, to practice, right? So now you go out there and talk to a homeowner and you say the script. Hey, and guess what? You're going to be fumbling through your words. It's easier to do when you're not talking to anybody, but maybe you're nervous when you're talking to this person and you black out, right? As far as the information that you've got. You're going to get some questions, some objections, some scenarios that you were not prepared for, right? But the point is, you learn at a different level with the activity, right? Just like a boxer. If a boxer is hitting a bag, or a kickboxer and they're hitting a bag, they can look really nice on that bag. But when it's another human being that's blocking and hitting you back, it reminds me of the movie Kickboxer, where the Thai guy tells him, bag don't hit back, right? Because this guy's really fast and whatnot. And the Thai guy says, the bag doesn't hit back, which is true, right? So learn knowledge is just the basic. You got to go out there and do the activity knowledge. Now, with the activity knowledge, you're going to get some results, right? You're going to get some feedback. Now you go back to your mentor, to your trainer, and say, hey, here's what I came across. How do you handle this, right? Now they coach you through it. Now they say, hey, listen, whenever you run into that situation, here's how you handle it. Now they're showing you the next type of knowledge, which is modeling knowledge, right? Now they're modeling what you went through, and they're showing you got it. So here's what you do, and here's what they do, and here's what you do. And then if this scenario pops up, here's how you handle it. Let me see, show me, right? That is the mentorship part, right? That's where you're really digging into these things. So it's learn knowledge, activity knowledge. Then third is modeling knowledge. The 4th type of knowledge is teaching knowledge. So now that you've gone out there and done the learn knowledge, activity knowledge, and modeling knowledge to the point where you've become successful at it, you now are qualified to train people on how you became successful, right? Here's what you do. Because in my opinion, you should only be training when you have the credibility to be a trainer. Very often I see in just sales in general, they put people to train that are not, they don't have the credibility to train, right? And what you'll find when you become a trainer is that you learn at a different level. Sometimes you're training people and you're training yourself. You're saying things and you remember of things that you have forgot because you're training them. Very often I say you've got to learn, unlearn, and relearn. When you are training people, you start to learn and relearn by remembering some of the stuff that you learned before that you're not really doing anymore, and it keeps you sharp, right? Because you're very often when you start training, you're teaching the basics. And when somebody starts to have some level of success, very often they tend to veer away from the basics. Let's say, for example, in fighting as well. Let's say a boxer is teaching you how to throw a jab in the basic footwork. Sometimes, if you don't have somebody modeling and watching your activity, you could cut corners and not stick to the fundamentals. When you are training other people, that's where you start to catch yourself like, oh man, I forgot about this. I forgot about that, because you're teaching at the entry level point. So there's 4 types of knowledge. There's learn knowledge, activity knowledge, modeling knowledge, and teaching knowledge. The most important knowledges of those are the in-between. That is the peanut butter and the jelly, right? You got the bread on the side is a learn knowledge, number 1, learn knowledge, and the teaching knowledge, right? But in order for you to get to the teaching knowledge, you got to get the peanut butter and the jelly, right? Which is the activity knowledge. You got to go out there and do the stuff, get the experience, get the results. So the activity knowledge and the modeling knowledge, only then should you be qualified to go to the teaching knowledge, right? So for those of you guys that are building sales organizations, you got to make sure that you're leading by example. So many people, they want to go to teaching knowledge. And here's the thing, in the industry of network marketing, because that's the industry that I know, direct sales and network marketing, there's a lot of people that fail in the industry, but then they become coaches, and I see their videos on YouTube pop up. Oh, build your organization without talking to anybody. But the only way that that person makes any money is by selling you the course. They don't have an organization that's paying them money, that's doing sales, that's paying them money. They make their money and they make their living by selling you a course. And guess what? We live in America, right? More power to them. They figured out a way, and if they're willing to get customers, hopefully their content is decent. But most people that are training that stuff, they're not actually doing the things. Very few people are actually doing the stuff. So my point is that they go from learn knowledge, they learn from somebody really good, they copy their stuff, and then they go out there and sell it on the teaching knowledge, but they never did the activity or model knowledge, or maybe they did, but they weren't successful at it, and they find that they can be more successful by just teaching the stuff. For example, I have an event coming up in like 3 weeks, right? It's called the Mentor Factory. In my company, there's 7,000 reps, and I'm number 1 all-time sales leader in mentor sales. I'm leading 2 years in a row, by the way. I'm leading this from the front. I am teaching not what I did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. I'm teaching what I did last year and the year before that to outsell everybody in the company, to become the number 1 team builder, the number 1 mentor sales in the entire company. I have a course that is called the Top Mentor Academy, where I take the gloves off. I teach them all my tips and tricks. It's actually currently being recorded now. Half of it is already done. It's already recorded, right? But my point is, I'm not the trainer that is teaching you a bunch of theory or teaching you a bunch of things that used to work 10 years ago, or some things that I accomplished 10, 12, 15 years ago. I'm teaching my team the stuff that I did now. So I'm currently in the trenches. I always learn. I'm always doing the activity, the modeling, and I also do the teaching. So I would encourage you, anybody that's a leader, make sure that you're doing all 4 of them, because if you're not, frankly, you're being a little bit of a hypocrite. You should lead by example. If you're building a sales organization, a big part of building a sales organization is leadership, and leadership leads from the front. Leadership says, let's go, doesn't say you go, but it says, let's go. So make sure you guys lead from the front. Again, if you guys like this short episode of the Driven Not Given podcast, make sure you guys like it, comment it, and if you like this episode, you're going to love this one right here. That being said, I'll see you at the top and from the top. Take care.